So I wanted to take just a moment today to talk to you guys about watermarks. Around about, well, I guess it was about 14 years ago when I started posting my model work online, I would put a watermark on all of my pictures. And the reason why I would do that is because I wanted every time somebody reposted it on a blog to have some reference back to me, so that hopefully when people saw that watermark, they would become familiar with who I was, and eventually that would elevate me as a brand. As time went by, there were a lot of pictures with this watermark on it on the internet. And some people would comment about how it would be distracting to enjoying the image, but what I was really after, of course, was that brand identity. However, over time, as my style changed, I have to be far more blunt and honest than that. So back then, I tried to get a lot of attention by shooting models with a lot of skin, thinking that that would be the road to me getting more attention and then more success. This was a big mistake because when you search for my name, almost everything that came up was a picture in this genre, and it did not represent what I actually did for money, which was shoot people just to market their business for the most part, or I would work with businesses to create content of models in order to sell a product or a service, and that's what I was doing most of the time. But if you looked online, all you would see are these sexy types of pictures. And of course, what would you see on there? You would see my name emblazoned across them. And so one day when I realized that it wasn't a good look for me to have all of this material out there associated back with me, I realized that I was kind of screwed because my name was literally on the content and there was nothing I could do about it. Well, there was something I could do, and that was I went around and I started asking everybody who reposted it to not post it, and I started taking that content down myself, and I ended up having to use the DMCA process in some cases to get that content removed from the internet as well. I'm not terribly proud about that whole situation. I am proud of the fact that I learned by creating that work, and it is part of how I got to where I am today. It's how I got really good at lighting, actually, which was to continually practice with models. However, putting that watermark on there was not a good move for me. I don't think it was a good move for me. So today, I don't put a watermark on things. I just trust that I have done enough so that people know that the work is mine, or I should say that people that were randomly coming across images, they weren't going to find those images and then decide they were going to hire a photographer. And I don't even know if having them sort of become more aware of my name was somehow going to translate into actual work. What really mattered for me getting more business was to post that content on my social media channels and on my website so that when people were looking for a photographer, I had work that spoke to them, readily available and curated in some format, and posting that work that was deliberately on one of my avenues, if you will, that's what led to work. Not having some random entity reposting my picture with a watermark on it. And the other thing is that if you're using a watermark to prevent theft in some way, they're just going to crop around it, and there's not really a lot you can do about that. So, just a word of advice here going into this new year. If you can, avoid using a watermark and focus more on creating great content and having a very strong website and Instagram account rather than focusing on making sure that every time a picture of yours gets reposted, your name is right there on top of it. Thank you guys so much for your time. Stay safe, have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.